people are surprised that I taught in the United Arab Emirates. I'm surprised I taught in the United Arab Emirates. I had heard stories, especially about Dubai. You know, about fancy buildings and cars and luxurious items. But I was also advised not to go to that country because of images and television and stereotypes and ignorance. Good thing I know how to read. So I step into a classroom of a colorful building in a country that I was warned not to go to. And I'm standing there in front of kindergartners. They don't know English, and I don't know Arabic. So there was a challenge. But the thing about it is, as a teacher, they tend to draw to you and understand you and respond in a way that you can't even imagine. They know who you are. They know who you're supposed to be. The interesting thing is, as I stepped into the classroom, I felt myself connecting with them. In the United Arab Emirates, kindergarten teachers are supposed to have an Arabic-speaking co-teacher. That was the plan, but usually I was standing in front of 20-something kids who did not understand a word I was saying. It was scary, and yes, there were their challenges, but we figured it out. We worked together, we sang songs, we played games, we told stories, we learned letters, numbers, shapes, colors. There was this one girl. Her face seemed like she was just in this far, sad place. She didn't talk or laugh with the other children. If I were in the States, I would have gone to a social worker and I would have had conversations about antisocial behavior, but we weren't in the States and I knew nothing about this girl. Except when my coworker walked into the classroom and she says, "Oh, you have," we'll call her Myra. I had her in my pre-K class last year and she didn't say not one word. As a matter of fact, sometimes I even forgot she was there. So I kept a close eye on Myra. I saw her slide down the slide, never broke her blank expression. I saw kids try to talk to her and connect with her. She would just turn away and ignore them. One day she did change her expression. She was just sitting there. This was during circle time. You know, kindergarten, there's always circle time. So we're in circle time, and I see the tears just falling. She has never shown any sort of expression, and now she's crying. So I rush over to her, and I look at the surrounding kids. Who did it? Who did it? Who messed with Myra? The children, they pointed to one boy. He was always known for trouble. So I turned to him, and I turned to the whole class, and I said, "Nobody touches Myra. You don't touch Myra." They didn't understand the words, but they understood the tone. After that, Myra's expression began to change. She actually started laughing, but she didn't want anyone to see her laughing, so she covered her face. She had this baby doll in her hand, and the face was like sunken in, and she thought it was hilarious. And she was just in the corner, just cracking up to herself. And she didn't want anyone to see her expression, so I pretended like I didn't notice her smile. And after that, I think we had about a week left of school, of that first school year. And the assignment for that day was making 3D shapes. And so we had a routine. It's kindergarten, again, it's circle time. and everything was going as it usually did. We would get up and we would present whatever item it was that we had made during that lesson. Except this lesson was different. Myra stood up. Okay, everyone stay calm. This is new. And as she's standing there, I think a student whispered something to her, and that must have given her courage, because she speaks. She says, I made 3D shapes. Okay. We were now in an enchanted forest, and Myra's voice was a white, sparkling unicorn, and if we moved too quickly, it would disappear. I didn't make the connection until years later, but when I had first come to America, I didn't speak. My parents were actually going to take me to a psychologist. And as they were taking me to the psychologist, my aunt runs outside and she's like, where are you taking her? And my mom explains she's not speaking. And my aunt says, but she speaks to me all the time. We did not go to the psychologist that day. I'll always wonder what I looked like in Myra's eyes. What made her decide to finally speak to me, because she actually never spoke to any other adult in that building, not even the Arabic-speaking co-teacher. So when people ask me about the United Arab Emirates and the fancy cars and the money, and yes, that was there. But what was important to me was being there for someone and speaking for someone, just as someone had done for me.